Hello, Professor. I'm going to be talking about Carl Rogers, relational cultural theory, and dialectal behavioral theory. So, Carl Rogers' whole deal was that the essential elements to create change for a client are accurate empathy, congruence, and unconditional regard, unconditional positive regard. And I really resonate with that philosophical posture, that mode of relating to the client as a counselor, of creating that egalitarian relationship. I've been using Rogerian theory without knowing it for most of my life. There are many ways in which this philosophy, this mode of using empathy as the primary agent of change and creating a positive therapeutic relationship, dovetails really nicely with core Christian philosophies of pastoral ministry and just ways of being as a Christian. And so Rogerian theory fits very nicely with what I have been doing and how I've been operating for most of my life. All of that said, there are places where Carl Rogers fell short because of his cultural context, because of the knowledge that he had available to him at the time. And this is where relational cultural theory comes in for me. So relational cultural theory acknowledges the socio-political realm as having huge consequences on the well-being of the client, especially a client who's a member of a minority population. Additionally, relational cultural theory pivots a bit from Freud and Erikson and some of the older psychodynamic psychotherapy modes, and pivots instead away instead of individuation and independence, pivoting instead to growth fostering relationships, mutuality, and interdependence upon community. And these two beats of RCT, the socio-political and its effects on the client's life, and the pivoting from traditional psychotherapy towards the idea that connection is the primary motivating force in a person's life, and what causes or not causes, what enables someone to be able to change their life is that connection with others. Now, there are times when a client's need, when their set of circumstances and what they need to get from counseling surpasses the effectiveness of a counselor's empathy. And this, for me, is where dialectal behavioral theory comes in, for a number of reasons. One of them is that it is so much more directive than RCT, and especially much more directive than person-centered theory. And it is essentially a rewiring of the client's brain, rewiring their habits, their thoughts, and their behaviors over the course of a year or two or three, with the assistance of an individual therapist and with group work. Much more directive. And this is actually the direction that I want to take as the next steps of my development as a therapist, because while I'm excellent at things like acceptance and nurturing and compassionate flexibility, I feel the need to develop things like benevolent demanding and pushing someone to change or empowering them to change. What's the other one? Unwavering centeredness. That's actually the one that interests me the most. So together, those three modes of therapy appeal to me the most, because I believe that every client has the capacity to change, and I also believe that no client can change alone. and I hope that for my internship in the coming year that I will be able to get some more exposure to DBT, because I think that that is the course of development that I need to take next. Thank you for a fantastic semester. I loved this class. It was hugely foundational for me, and I am grateful for the many hours of labor that you put into it. I hope you have a great holiday season. Be well.